Welcome to the first BBL SuperCoach podcast on the Swordplay channel and the Scobes channel. I am joined by the most gorgeous looking individual you'll ever see, and that is DR. How are you, mate?
Oh, I'm very good, brother. Absolutely too kind there in the intro. But yeah, looking forward to this. It's one of my favorite formats of SuperCoach. It's a BBL. I'm not as knowledgeable, not near as knowledgeable as yourself and the great Joshy, mate. But I will do my best to tag along, put a team together. But very much looking forward to this season as a whole, and all the content, mate, will be pumping out.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of Joshy, he's if anyone tuned in through the AFL season, he's very good at ditching me last minute, and that's exactly what he's done tonight. So thank you so much for that, Joshy. But we're going to get straight into it, mate. I know you've already made a team. I've mucked around with little pieces here and there and tried to, I guess, make a little strategy, try and fill in the puzzle pieces, so to speak. But you've made a team. You told me earlier on that you were downgrading players here and there. Do you want to just give me one player that you're absolutely set on?
One player. If I can give you one, he's pretty expensive, mate. He's 192k. I don't know if this is controversial, if we're paying up too much for this man, but I think Mitch Owen, given the fact that the Hurricanes have 2 doubles in the first 3, look at the role that this man has, the perfect all-rounder, can go big. I've got huge raps on him, mate. So he is an absolute lock for me. I know that we are paying up big dollars for him, but I think we're getting quality and fixture in return. Is that a bad call, do you think? Am I too hot on the man at the moment? Do I need to temper my expectations?
No, honestly, I reckon, and this is going to annoy a lot of people, he's going to be the Timu Matt Short. Simple as that. He's going to be absolutely fantastic. Like you said earlier on, off screen about the fixtures. They've got the double round 1. They've also got the double round 3. How many of his teammates do you have currently in your side?
Well, John Wick's there. Including his teammate, I've got 6 all up, including the great man. So currently 6 Hurricanes. I wouldn't be loading up as much, but as you just said before, 2 out of the first 3 doubles. I think that makes our planning a little bit easier for the starting team, knowing that you can potentially add a couple more to your squad because you don't necessarily have to trade them out straight away. You can leave them there for that single the next week after round 2, then round 3. Beautiful. You've got that double again, and then we can look to ease them out of our side. That's what I'm thinking anyway, mate. What about yourself? What's gut feel? What's not enough? What's too many? And what's a nice little middle ground, do you think?
I think if you're going in with 3, that's definitely not enough. But if you're loading up with, say, 7 or 8, that's overkill. Like when I opened up the game and I waited and I don't know why they opened at 11:30 when we're getting screenshots of the game at like literally 10:30 a.m., but that's another conversation. When I opened it up, I'm looking at these players' prices. I'm thinking everyone is so cheap. Like even your superstar, tried and trusted, absolute premiums of years gone by that have done it in the BBL. That when you see that name, you just think, yep, perfect, in, no worries, no second thoughts. I'm looking at these price tags and I'm thinking the role's fantastic, good team, in. And then I'm thinking at the cash left. I'm like, I've got all the players that I'm pretty keen on and I've done it with ease. Like, I know the team's going to change. I know, like, obviously the first draft isn't going to be first and final. We've got 45 days. But looking at it, if you're going to play the fixtures, it's quite easy to go in with, say, almost a full round 1 team of doubles and still have a decent bench and be prepared for rounds 2 and rounds 4. Like, did you find that as well?
Absolutely. And again, we were talking off air very quickly. There were 2 blokes in particular. And if we think back to 1 to 2 seasons ago, the names of Aaron Hardy and Mitch Marsh. The price tags on these two fellas, mate, we are paying premium type dollars. This year, you look down the list and you're scrolling. You finally find these two men there at, what is it, 117 odd K and 70 odd K. It's just too good to pass up, in my opinion. So there is so much value that I'm even, if you look at your traditional bench, for me, it's been, that 60K type player, fill in with that. But I think we can afford to put a Marsh on the bench, put your Hardys on the bench. And when eventually their doubles do roll around, beautiful, they're sitting there waiting. And in the meantime, you'd be assuming on potential here, we're making some nice dollars on them as well.
Oh, no, I completely agree. And again, a month and a half away until we kick off. But to me, it feels like Aaron Hardy is going to bowl in basically any Scorchers lineup that comes out. Lance Morris has been ruled out for the season pretty much. So there's one quick gone. Jai Richardson's coming back from an injury. It's just, he's made of paper, unfortunately, because he's a gun. I mean, what else do they really have?
Berendorf's gone as well, isn't he?
He's gone to the Renegades.
That just doesn't feel right to me. It's like when I almost think of the Scorchers, in my head, I get a picture of Berendorf in my head. Mm-hmm. That's going to be strange to see him in the red.
It's going to be a weird psychological feeling, isn't it? Just not a good visual. Not a good visual. And I mean, they've got Marley Beardman, but he's young. Andrew Tyer's not even signed yet, so don't know what's going on there. And in such a good team as well. At 74.8K, if you don't have Aaron Hardy, unless he does his quad again, I don't understand how you cannot go into the season without him, purely because you can loop him first game. I mean, Marsh at 117.5, again, easy. They're no-brainers if obviously he's not going to be playing in the Ashes. Don't expect Marsh to bowl because, I mean, he has rarely done it in the BBL years gone past. So, I mean, it's a free hit. It really is. Hardy is going to bowl in that lineup. Simple as that. It's just, and I know we've just got a comment, Marsh and Hardy don't bowl for, so no point picking Hardy. At Easton Young, if you look at the lineup, I agree with Marsh. 100%. But in saying that, have you seen some of his innings for Australia lately? The man's in form, in absolute form. I know a lot can change, but cheap as. And Hardy, I highly doubt that price is going to go down, honestly. Worst case scenario, you're getting maybe, at worst, a top 6 batsman that bowls 2 overs in a good side for under 80K. I don't understand how that's not a good option.
I love him. And you know what? To be honest, at the price, even if he doesn't bowl that much, I'm still taking that. Mm-hmm. We know what this man can do with the bat in hand. That's almost good enough for me, to be honest. So, personal opinion, but I think he's just an absolute lock at the moment. Absolute lock.
I agree. I mean, the team that I put together, the bench so far is Cameron Bancroft, Michael Nessa, Aaron Hardy, Mitch Marsh, and a loop option. And to me,
it's a pretty solid bench.
that's a mental bench considering fixture wise. I'm huge on fixtures and maximising doubles, but also making sure that you've got an escape plan as well. Price points are so important because you got to think about it if you want, I don't know, if you want to flip to say a Maxwell on his double, how are you going to get there? Are you going to leave the cash in the bank and then flip a premium, or what's your get out clause for all these double options? Because it's all good and well and to say, round one, I've got 11 doubles, I've got 2 Scorchers that I can loop on the bench in case, but what's your setup for round 2? You've got 4 trades and using a boost, because 4 doubles in a double game week, I don't think is enough.
No, I agree. And it's one thing I was looking at with my starting team. I was asking myself, well, how many do I want to start with? Well, how many of these week 2 double game players do I want to start with? And the number that I got to was 4 at the moment. So I've got 4 that I'm stashing there for now. And that is Nisa at the price again. And we're probably not expecting this man to do too much damage with the bat, but I think just bowling alone at the price, I think I really like him as a selection. You've got Afridi as well, who I've currently got sitting there. I've got Daniel Sams as the other man, and also Xavier Bartlett at a cheap price. I think, again, for potential, what he can do, I'm willing just to stash him there even for that first week on the bench and then bring him on for week 2. So do you think, well, again, similar to the first question about how many double game round 1 players do we start, ideally, how many week 2 players would you like to have already sitting there, Scopes? So we're not rushing and falling over ourselves and panicking after round 1 if we don't start enough or any for some people that it's going to start too hard.
I guess with the structure I've got right now, looking at it, it's Bancroft. So 1, Nisa, 2, Bartlett, 3, and Afridi, which is 4. And again, you add 2 on top of that, because I always like to think I don't want to always assign my allotted 3 trades, not including the boost, to double game week players. I don't want to assign the full 3. 2, absolutely, no issues. Because what happens if a cash cow pops off? Like, do you just completely miss that? Or like what? That's where the trade-off is. Like cash or double game week player. So I'd like to start, I guess, max bringing in, then 2, not boosting. But then in saying that, you can have players like, say, the first week, Nisa goes bananas because of his price point at 93K. Like we all know in seasons gone past, it's a 200K plus player right there. He gets his body 100%. Right. I mean, last year it's scary because sometimes he bowl 1 over, 2 overs, and then never be seen again. But times have changed. Yes, he's a year older, but I don't think he's close to that Australian selection, so to speak, with the Cricket Australia management of his body and the injuries and whatnot. Or even like a Cameron Bancroft, for example, scored 100 the other day. I know it's a completely different format, but at 81K, like, all you need is a quick 30, and that's decent points. Cash gen started already. Simple as that. So I don't think there's a correct answer. I'm going to sit on the fence, but I'm going to say if you can get to, say, 6 or 7 without using your full allotted trades for game week 2, then I reckon that suffices. I'd be more than happy with that, honestly. Because,
like it.
I mean, as we said before, like round 3, who's on the double? You've got Stars and Hurricanes. We've already got Hurricanes players.
That leads me to my next question almost, because we're talking a few relevant teams at the start here, but I don't currently have a Stars play in my side. Now, my plan was to already have those 4 sitting there for week 2, so I can maybe invest in a star or 2 as well to prepare for that double and get a couple in beforehand. Obviously, Maxwell is going to be a big out for me from the starting team, but I think having just say the pairing of, well, this is the way I'm thinking of it, Scobes, and again, prices can fluctuate, so it's a bit of a dangerous gamble here, but having someone like Bubba Azam and Benny Dwarshus for the Sixers starting off in the side, I'm thinking, well, can I use them as a pairing to get up to Maxwell? One of them gets a bit of a downgrade, but then you've got the Bartletts, the Marshes that are actually coming off the bench, actually quality on the bench. I'm thinking that could be an option for myself. And then it's probably another discussion for a different day, but what do we do with these Stars plays during that bye? Do we hold on to all of them as loop options like the Maxwells? I'm thinking we probably have to, but again, I don't want to go overboard with the Stars players before their bye because we'll already be having some of these Hobart Hurricanes players with us as well. So I think we can maybe afford to go less Stars pre-bye and then maybe load up after the bye with their next double. Is that the way you'd be probably approaching your Stars players?
Stars players, there's one that I'm hugely interested in, and
Ooh,
I'll
okay.
give you three guesses at it, and I don't reckon you'll get him.
So it's not Maxwell then.
No,
I'm going to go with a random one. It's not someone like Pete Siddle, is it, at the
no,
price?
no, no.
And you're not going Stoinis.
Nope. No.
All right, no, hit me. Who is it?
Mitch Swepson.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Purely because it's the price point. And I don't know if you had to. I looked at his price and I thought, I wondered why. Like, I know he wasn't good last year, but the season before that, he wasn't too bad. And I looked at who he comes up against, and he's got. It's not about who he comes up against, it's the venues where he plays at. Now, I know against the Hurricanes, he averages 19. I can understand that. That's shocking. That's terrible. I reckon you and I could rival that. But it's where he plays at. So, like, I had it before, and I'm fairly sure that. So, round one at the MCG, sorry, it's not here. Yeah, so Hurricanes, he averages 19. That's horrible. I get that. And that's
It's
fair
in the
enough.
past.
But MCG, he averages 54.3, which is where the first game is. Then I'm
Big
fairly
step
sure
up.
it's a combination of Monica, the SCG, and the Adelaide Oval. So at the SCG, averages 34.5. I can understand that's not the best, but we're talking about 59K. Then you've got Monica, which is 58.3. And then at the Adelaide Oval, it's 40.6. So for me, that just, like, worst case scenario, he's got a double round 3, his basement price. Like, is that not just a hole in one there?
You've sold me, I think, man. But I quickly just look back to my side. So my bench at the moment, if I can just quickly go through it with you, is McDermott, Sams, O'Connor, Maloop, Bartlett, and Hardy. Like, where does he fit in there? Or do I need to get him in and maybe downgrade a bench option and get a star in an extra? I'm not too sure. I just don't know where he fits with this bench lineup that I've got. It feels like my bench is way too good. Like I've been given some extra cash here in the salary cap, and it shouldn't be right. Maybe I'm being a little bit too tight on the field. I don't know, Scobes, but he's a great shout at the price, and I would love to have at least one star sitting there. It would make me just feel a little bit better, and visually having a bit of green on the screen, I think, would be nice too. So, yeah, if I can, great fallback option because he's, apart from the loop, he'd be cheaper than any other bloke that I've got on the bench there. So having him in the back pocket to free up some extra cash is brilliant, Scobes. But you're currently looking to start with him?
I am, but that's the thing, that it's not going to be. This is why I like the rolling lockout, because, argument's sake, round one, Hardy and Marsh, loop them on both lines. If one goes well, you obviously take it. If the other one doesn't, then you're going to have to play someone else. What happens if it works out that you can stash Hardy's, say, 80, and then trade the player you were going to put on instead of him if he fails for, you've got your loop on field, so you take the Hardy score, and then it's just Swepson. He might turn to complete and utter try. I don't know, but statistically speaking,
definitely
the venues are favourable, really favourable. And I guess that's
I like it.
What you said about the Stars, mate. I've just got looking at them, like I think Maxwell's a given, but
Yeah.
geez, I mean, if you're, there's no way in hell you're paying 230K for Mark Steckity. Like you got to be absolutely
Oh,
mental to be doing that.
yeah.
Like straight
No,
off
not
the
a
bat,
chance.
no thanks.
Not a chance. Yeah.
Maxwell interested, Ralph interested, Marcus Stoinis. If he's not bowling, then he'd want to be doing something with the bat. Peter Siddle, I mean, please, come on. Tom Curran, yeah,
Oh, I understand there. Yeah.
understandable. Hilton Cartwright, I mean, not super coach relevant. Scotty Boland's going to be tearing the Poms a new one. Joe Clark at that price, very intriguing, I will admit.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
68.
you've got like, it's just no, like their squad, they're in a bit of trouble, I reckon. Like if Maxwell and Stoinis don't fire and Ralph doesn't pick up poles, they're in for a world of pain.
You're really looking at Maxi to have a huge impact week upon week.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't
Yep.
you looking at that lineup there?
Yeah.
And they're not too exciting. So who Scopes from memory, mate? So we know that in round 3, Stars have the double with the Hurricanes. Then in round 5, Stars have the double. Who do they share that with? That
In round 5, once it loads.
And for anyone that has not checked it out yet, make sure you follow Scobes on X. Has a brilliant schedule, visual schedule for us, all up there as well. So make sure that you do follow Scobes there and get yourself a screenshot of it.
Yes, or save it if you can for better quality. No, there's no one else on the double because it's the Sixers bye.
So
But
that's
again,
it.
they play the Heat up there first game, which,
yeah,
I mean, they could easily run through them, easily. And then they play, it's the Melbourne Derby. So they play the Renegades at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so tough as well, planning too far in advance. Like a bit of rain and bang, like things just can change in an absolute instant, can't they, as well? You can go from a double to a single pretty easily. So this is something we always need to take into account as well, where a bit of luck can come into it. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, the Stars lineup, when it comes to their doubles and how hard people go, particularly given the quality of their list. You take, an Overton pick, perhaps a little bit more on a single over some of these Stars doubles. It'll be an interesting strategy to see where people go with it, mate.
You mentioned an international before that plays for the Sixers, Baba Razam at 152K.
But,
Do you currently own him?
I do, and I think he is. I'll just check my team. I think he's the only batsman only that I own. He is. So he's the only batter only that I currently own. And I just think this guy, he's on another level, Scopes, as you know, following your cricket. And I just think he can do a whole heap of damage on that double. Now, I know might be first time nerves or blowing out the cobwebs or getting used to conditions. You're a lot more over this than what I am. But just looking at the quality of him and given the fact he's on that double to start off with, he's the sort of bloke, think of like a Munro, that if he goes off, he can really go off. So, and also in saying that, I think he's also my ticket to another big time sort of player. And if he can go off, make a bit of extra cash, even more of a bonus. But I'm pretty keen on him. Are you?
I'm gonna definitely say no, purely because I can't remember the last time an overseas international batsman came and just started well.
Well, that's why you're here, and that's what I need to know. That was one of the questions that I had. I wasn't quite sure how they integrate, how they come in, Scopes.
I mean, there was a season there. I can't remember if you remembered or know the name. Adam Leith used to play for the Scorchers, an English international, and he had really good form leading up into it, and he was absolutely crap. And then the following season after that was Martin Guptill, and he was absolutely crap. And then it was
Oh,
Finn Allen last year at the start, and it took him, I reckon,
yes.
halfway
Yep.
through the season until he finally started going. And I mean, I can understand that would be a ticket, but you've already got, like, I guess my counter suggestion to that would be surely you can get a bowler at the same price in there. And I know you said you've got a Freddie, but to me, like the pecking order in BBL Supercoach, it's literally all rounders, bowlers, then batsmen.
True. Yep.
Like you bowl one crap ball as a bowler and it either goes for six or you can get a wicket. Simple as that. You play one good shot as a batsman and you can be walking back. Simple as that. Like the favoring's just so much more weighted towards bowlers. And if you're a bowler that bowls death, then my God, it's the best role in Supercoach. It really is.
So I might be expecting a little bit too much, you're saying, from an international to just light it up straight off the mark. Scobes. That's very good advice, mate. And I totally agree with you when it comes to the batsman only. That's why he was literally the only batter only in my side, because one thing you need with this game is multiple avenues to score. And that's where the Maxwells, the Overtons, they're absolute gold in the game, aren't they? And we can't start them all due to their price. You know, the Owens that we've talked about as well. You want these sort of blokes in your side. So absolutely get that, mate. I may even, given the fact that bench is pretty stacked at the moment, you've given me a nice little option there at the Stars as a downgrade option. Maybe that Baba pick can be upgraded to a bloke that's even on a single, but that quality all-rounder type. So lots to think about there, mate. Much appreciated.
There's, like, I just think if we're talking about cash, there's so much value, Thinking, I mean, Mitch Owen's my highest price player currently, but if we look at it now, like I'm looking at Xavier Bartlett has been a 200k plus player. Ben
Yep.
Dwarshuis, Sean Abbott has as well. I mean, Michael Nisa has, and it's just there's so much value floating around that. Like I think you genuinely struggle to build a bad squad.
Would you go Abbott over Baba?
In a
Given the
heartbeat.
fact that we
Yep.
put those
Yep.
basic rules in, that you just put your order in, mate, all rounders, bowlers, batters.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's probably
Absolutely.
even then possibly an option I can look at, because I've got so many all rounders. It's very easy to switch these blokes around for now.
And
So definitely look at that. Yeah.
like the flexibility, like the DPP, it's you can pick a team and then completely change it, but have the same starting lineup basically.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy, and like I mean, I just look at these prices and I'm struggling to think. Like I don't know which players above 200k you would want to be starting, but looking at a fixture wise, like I know there's four of them, but I mean Mark
Well,
Stickety, no thank you. Steve Smith, I mean that's not going to happen. Matt Short, I
yeah.
mean everyone knows how much I love that individual, but it's fixtures.
Your
Like
boy.
it's fixtures, and then Maxwell again. And then, I mean, next highest is Overton. And, like, they're still fantastic picks. But, I mean, when you're getting – like, I expect Mitch Owen to be the highest owned player in the game. He's got
Has to be,
literally
doesn't
bowling avenue to scoring, batting avenue to scoring, fielding avenue to scoring, which generally every player does. So you've got three avenues. And then you're doing that again in another game. So it's 6 avenues to scoring.
he? Yep. Connolly, all rounder. He's nice. Johnson's injured, isn't he? Spencer Johnson.
Yes. Yeah, there hasn't been an update for him. Like, that's just
Yeah.
and I mean, quick stress fractures with back injuries. It's just not like, yeah, no, I don't think he'll be right to go for the opening rounds. And
You're
then,
right, Scopes. There's not many of the big boys that fixture wise we're thinking we really
yeah,
need to start here. Excuse me, but then I suppose the challenge that may present moving forward is how do you actually bring these blokes into your side, particularly if they remain at a pretty high price point. So I think that's also got to be in our thinking as well, and that's why your graphics going to come in so handy for many people because you can pinpoint when the ideal time is when these doubles are coming up. And then you
yeah,
can say to yourself, okay, well, I've got 2-3 weeks, for example, to bring this big gun in. What are my avenues going to be? And your best laid plans can completely go out the window as they do most weeks. But if you're keeping this sort of stuff in mind with your planning moving forward, it's really going to help you out in the long term, I think, mate.
oh, absolutely, absolutely agree. I want to ask you, what's your? And I know that you've been playing AFL Supercoach for ages and bit some NBL Supercoach and whatnot. I don't know if they have it in NBL Supercoach because that's like speaking another language to me. Like that's I know nothing about it. But looping, like, what's the general consensus from your point of view about looping?
Look, I love doing it with the NBL. For example, you could never loop because your bench actually was 50% of your score back in the classic days of NBL Supercoach. So you can't actually loop there. But
Right.
I've always looped. I've legitimately always looped. First time this year I didn't in AFL Supercoach just because of the round zeros and early buys and all that sort
Yep.
of jazz. It was a little bit different. So usually I do, but it's actually interesting because the great Kai Broom, I put my team reveal up as you saw, and then got a message from Kai saying, "Love the teammate, but I don't necessarily agree with starting a loop. I don't know if I like it, mate. I would actually look at some cash generation there instead of the loop." So when the great man speaks, I always listen. So maybe I need to change my tune on this, but usually I'm a fan of the loop just because you can and it's not just all about the captain scope. Sometimes it's about taking advantage of an early score like a scorcher's
Mhm.
score. It's not just about the captain. And I think another reason why I was initially starting with that loop was because of the quality of our benches as well. We've got so many great blokes that can easily pop off on our benches the way that things are currently sitting for me anyway, that if I've got the loop there, I can actually take advantage of some of those scores. There's nothing more frustrating than having a bloke as the emergency, nice early game pops off, but there's no way to actually get his score on field. So that's my usual way of thinking, but maybe I need to rethink that. What's your point of view when it comes to looping? Are you planning currently on starting a loop?
I am. I am pure. Like literally, you summarised it fairly. I mean, fairly well, mate. I in AFL, same thing, same thing. I mean, you have two bites at the cherry instead of one for a captaincy option. Um, I just, I'd be so dirty on myself if I was just confident enough to not take a VC score that was relatively safe
Yeah.
and then go out on a limb and captain someone I'm not entirely certain of and just have it be a complete disaster. Like the way I see it is VC is you want to VC the player that you think can potentially have the highest score out of the early games.
Yes, agree. Yeah.
And then you just lock it in. Like in an AFL Supercoach, for argument's sake, how good is it when there's a Thursday night game and you lock in a 140?
Oh, no better feeling, is there? Just
And
sets you up for the
that's
week, doesn't it?
yeah, that's it. That's as simple as that. I agree with you. Like at the moment on the new signing for Thunder, the all rounder O'Connor at 39.5K. I don't think he will play. Um, But the Renegades did sign Will Salzman from New South Wales, who, well, used to play for the Thunder. I don't think he actually did make his debut. He may have here and there, but I expect that he actually, I guess, won't play either. I think they'll go Ollie Peak in that middle order over him. And
Okay.
yeah, I just don't like they're two fantastically fine options to loop with. So I guess if you want a loop, then I don't I don't think cash will be a shortage this year in response to what Kai said to you.
Yeah, it's a big decision, isn't it? It's a big decision because that extra cash generation, that's the sort of stuff that you may need in order to upgrade to the big dogs that don't currently have the fixture to start with. So yeah, big decisions. I've currently got the loop there, as I said, Scopes. But look, who knows? With the rolling lockout, if you got the emergency on a couple of early players and they don't pop off, maybe think to yourself, oh, well, or for example, if your vice captain doesn't pop off, you think to yourself, oh, well, maybe I could change things up. And you're not locked into anything at the moment. So maybe that decision can be made a little bit closer to the start anyway. But look, great food for thought. And either way, if you're looping, if you're not looping, respect, because there's, two different schools of thought. And I think both have some fair merit to them.
Yeah, I'd be so dirty passing up on a VC score that you'd normally take just because
it's tough.
You don't want to start that. And who's to say, like, again, I mean, I spoke about Swepson earlier. I mean, statistically, it looks okay, but it could genuinely be tripe in the end. I mean, he could just turn to absolute pass. And then you think, well, maybe I should have literally downgraded to save 20K for a non-playing player. But, yeah, I mean, it's difficult. There are a lot of people I know that they would not start without a loop. Simple as that. Just purely because of the advantages of it. And especially this year, like looking at your team, I've got that many players that, as I said in the past, when I first opened up the app, I looked at it and I thought, oh my goodness. Like, it's just so cheap. So cheap.
Hey, tell me, Scobes, we're not getting fooled here, are we? And the only reason I'm asking this is, and I don't know if this was true in past seasons or not, but do our teams look so much better at the moment purely because we're not starting too many of the big boys because of their schedule? Like if it was the Stars and the stuff, like what I'm trying to say is if some of these real big boys actually had decent schedules to start off with, and they're closer to must-haves than being able to wait them out, would our teams be looking different? And would our benches be looking a little bit more standard? And it's just a matter of really having to fight and really scrap and decide which value options we're going to take. Is it blinding us a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I think...
Look, do we need to start with money in the bank? Like, what?
I'm not... No, I mean, I'm not against it. Absolutely not against it. But I just don't think... I don't think you need to. Like, when you've got all these... Like, instead of starting, say, I don't know, a Wildermyth at... I think he was 59K, who I'm not big on anyway. Like, I don't think the role will be that fantastic. Yeah. You just drop, like, you could drop 20K on him, and there's your Aaron Hardy, who's, in my eyes, such a better cricketer and will probably have a better role than him anyway. I know he won't have the double in round 2, but you wait a week. And, I mean, regardless, who's to say that he even gets picked for the doubles, like using Jack Wildermyth as an example, because I know you see Heat double round 2. Yes, he's been making a few runs. All right, in. Simple as that. Just, I don't know. There's seasons have gone by where there's been like Maxwell Stoinis. Before Matt Short popped off, you'd have like Berendorf, Andrew Ty, and they're all like 180K plus, all of them, and you make it work.
It just seems too good to be true. Some of these prices,
yeah.
But it's a good thing, mate. I'm not complaining in any way, shape, or form, but I just want to make sure that it doesn't get to the week or the week before where I need to bring in some big guns and I'm going, do you know what? I actually didn't plan overly well here, because now getting to these blokes, the step up's too big. I don't know how I'm going to get that unless I really chop and sacrifice the team somewhere. So just thinking out loud more than anything here, mate. Bit of long term.
Yeah, no, I was very pleased to see that strikers didn't have an early double, because I think it's SuperCoach suicide if you're going into an Adelaide strikers double without Matt Short and Jamie Overton, and that's
absolutely.
I mean that is a lot of coin for two players, for two.
Oh,
so I think we've
definitely
been blessed by the fixtures. We really have. Absolutely. Mate, we've been going for 40 minutes. Let's get to some comments now.
Oh, here we go. Triple digit viewers as well. So over 100
not bad.
watching at the moment. So, thank you very much, community, for tuning in.
Absolutely. And if you haven't seen DR's team reveal, like me, who wanted to purposely wait so I could pick your brain, just go and do it. I mean, even if you listen to it as a podcast, simple as that, just go and do it. Jono says, "G'day, legends. Jono, you absolute menace.
Hello, mate.
He'd be over the moon about the big moves the Saints have pulled off.
Absolutely, and a very talented cricketer himself in his own right up there for the Horsham Saints. So, very good player.
He knows my thoughts on Horsham as a town. So, yes. Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We'll get cancelled, mate. Tommy Clark says, "Yep, agreed. Prices are far too cheap. So many great options sub 150k. It means we don't need to field anyone sub 100k, which feels a bit easy." Yeah, I agree. There's one. Yeah, I've got one player, and obviously this will change, but one that's under 100k. So, yeah, I guess my team agrees with you, mate.
Tommy.
Lachlan Camilleri says, "I wish I changed the rules to give negative points for terrible bowling economy." What's your thoughts on this, mate?
Oh, look, I know in the NBA, it's difficult to get used to because it's all about shooting percentage there. So I like to keep it simple, but I think for possibly the true cricket lovers, this may be a change that they would opt in for. How about yourself? You're a true cricket lover. What are your thoughts on it? I'm a no.
I reckon. Jeez. I know they used to, there was in some format, they used to, or it must have been some other fantasy game. If you scored a duck, you lost 10.
Oh, okay. Oh, look,
yeah.
You know what? I'd bring something like that in, like something fun like that in. A duck and you lose 10. I'd be all right for something like that, as something a little bit different. But
I think, and I reckon we might open a can of worms here, but if they did that, that's going to disengage the casuals, and then we're going to have a scenario like how, is it the NBL, where it's not a continuous system throughout the season?
Dire straits. That space has been killed off. We've gone to GDS for the NBL, the old game day squad, mate. So, don't know much about what's happening with NBL SuperCoach apart from the classics died, which really killed the experience for me, brother.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there you go. As I said, different language. It's like talking Spanish basketball. But I reckon that'd be interesting. But I think from SuperCoach's point of view, I don't think that they would do that, just purely for engagement purposes. Easton Young said, "Marsh and Hardy don't bowl 4, so no point picking Hardy." We've covered that. I agree to some extent. I don't think Hardy always will bowl 4. I think he will bowl, but I don't think Marsh does. So, yeah.
I'd pick him anyway, to be honest, at that price.
Yeah.
I'm having a stab there.
Tommy Clark says, "Which premium assets who don't have a double early are worth starting? Short, Connolly, etc."
We sort of talked about it before when we were looking at talking about some of those high-priced options, didn't we? Owen's a bloke that we're definitely starting with the double, but who don't have the double early. Is it worth starting any? personally, Scobed, and you're the expert here, but I don't see any of these
Expert.
blokes
I
above
wouldn't go
Owen.
that far.
More knowledgeable than me, then we'll say. I don't believe that anyone above Owen's price is a must-have to start. That's my point of view.
There's.
I'd like to. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to have Maxi sitting there from the start. But who are worth starting? Connolly, I'd love it.
I think there would be. I'm gonna say. I reckon they'd be worth starting. I wouldn't do it necessarily myself. There's a bloke that switched from Perth to the Renegades, and that's Jason Berendorf. Because he's a huge fan of him, absolute superstar. And I reckon, especially with the first game down in Geelong against Brisbane, that just, I mean, he could go absolutely bananas down there if the conditions suit. And then it's going to have to be the two Adelaide boys, like Short and Overton for me. Like, I would not, like, completely understand that. Like, don't know. I don't think you can pick Maxwell if he's not bowling prior to the opening round, then I don't think you pick him as a sole bat, especially coming back from that injury. That's just my thoughts there. Fevolution says legends.
Mate.
That is a very nice picture there. God, that brings back some memories. Easton Young says, why not pick Sams over Marsh, who's got a double round too? I mean, completely plausible question.
I'm going both. I've currently got both in my side.
Yeah. No, as I said, the only Thunder player that I expect to play is Cameron Bancroft, but
yeah. Look, just quickly on Sam's, he's another one. We've talked about so many of these players, Goes, but you look in previous season what this bloke started at price wise. He was one of these big dogs that we've been talking about. So I think at the price, he's just really nice to have sitting there to just move on in round two. I'm a big fan of the pick, actually. And I know that he's not the Daniel Sams that we've seen in the past and things have changed a little bit there. But again, for potential and based off some of his history, I think he's a decent shout to start in this side there.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he used to be like one of the best SuperCoach commodities going around. Like he's just, when he was batting at the lowest at 7, highest 6, and also bowling is 4, before he got it into his mind about every ball had to be a different variation slow ball. Like it just, and then his bowling went to absolute crap. So I want to, I don't see anything wrong with the pick. I'm just backing Marsh's batting form over Sam's all-rounder ability currently.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Easton Young says Nisa will bowl 4 with Spencer injured. Yep, I completely agree.
Yep.
Completely agree. Easton Young also says Swepson and Clark, no-brainer at price. Well, I mean, completely understand that as well. I mean,
yeah, just very quickly, sorry, Scope, just to jump in, just as an example here. So if I was to start with your Bubba and Benny Dwarshus combination, then you could split them into your Maxi Sweps and Maxi Clark potentially as well. So that could be another reason why I maybe don't start with a Swepson or a Clark type pick, knowing that they're a bloke I can actually hopefully downgrade to maybe the week after. But as you said, just say if he has a ripping round, then you're paying more for him. So it's a bit of a gamble either way, isn't it? You can't start them all, Scobes. That's why we're here having a chat, mate, trying to work this sort of stuff out.
I think it's
strategies
always
around the place.
Yeah, I completely agree. Because you always want to leave yourself an option to bring in. Like, and if it's someone on the double and you can downgrade to and bank coin as well, it just makes the trade even more plausible. I mean, As you said, he's put a Bubba and a Dwarshus together. If you wanted together, if you were set on bringing in Maxwell and you just thought, oh, like I need to start him, then I can understand it. It's just there's so many decent options price wise. Again, not just so I think I agree with you, Easton Young, on the Swepson call. I'm not entirely certain on Joe Clark. Not entirely certain. Fevolution says quality on the bench is a great play. You don't want to miss them popping off and then becoming too expensive. Yeah, yep, absolutely agree. Yep. Tommy Clark 426 says I've got Swepo myself. Stars have needed a spinner for years on the big MCG ground. It's impossible to ignore as a bench option. Yeah. And I mean, he's also said Swepo, absolutely no brainer. Stars have been crying out for a spinner for years. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the statistics talking or what, but I don't see how he can get worse than 59K.
Well, that's a good point. It can only go up. That's a good point, Scobes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. But then again, if you could save 10K, 20K, and have a loop instead, so swings and roundabouts. Tommy Clark says, hey lads, are premium assets who don't have a double early worth starting? I know you love short scopes, but with no double till like around 7, it's a tough sell over an Owen tight. With it. Nah, mate, you just go Mitch Owen, simple as that.
Yeah, you said that. You said yourself, Tommy.
Yep. Tommy also said Stoyan just bowled for Australia, so you'd have to assume he bowls for Stars. Yeah, I can understand that, but in the past, I don't know. You get some captains that really think that not saying that he doesn't believe in himself, so to speak. You get some captains that they want the opportunity always for them, but it seems like to Stoyan, he's almost like too conscious of how much he does, so to speak, and he's a little bit reserved in the bowling department there. Because there was a period of time where you'd assume that he bowls, and that it'd be Bo Webster. And it's like, well, why? And I know Webster's not there now.
We've got a couple of weeks started though, which is a good thing on someone like a Stoyan. So we can just see how he goes for a couple of weeks. If he bowls fantastic. We can look to bring him in for the first of those 2 doubles. And if not, then maybe we can just let him go through to the keeper. That's why I don't think you need to start someone like a Stoyan. Mm-hmm. If you got these question marks around him, will he, won't he bowl, then maybe just don't start with him. Get the 2-week starter and then pencil him in as one of your trading targets. That's the way I'd be looking at it anyway.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, because I reckon Tommy Curran probably suffices for about 40K cheaper, to be fair. And that's Tom, not his brother Sam. Lachlan Camilleri says, all I want from the BBL is for the Coffs Harbour game not to be washed out. Oh, mate, yeah, and I want $1 million. Like, it's not going to happen. We've gone 3 times and it's washed out every time, and the other game we didn't was Smith 100. Yeah, that's unlucky. That was against the Scorchers as well. It was a very, very good game. A very good game. Pat Edmund says he just became a YouTube member. What does that entail? You're going to have to fill me in. I'm not too sure.
Well, Scobes, less than $1 a week, mate, and all the proceeds, so every dollar from the memberships go directly to Beyond Blue as well. So it's basically, I think it's $3.99 a month. You get member videos, but the best thing is you get access to the Google Members Drive, and that's where I've got all the notes, all the slides, lots of extra info there. You get entry into leagues, the paid up prison league. So lots of different perks there, mate. Video calls, members chats, all that sort of stuff. But Paddy, you're an absolute legend, mate. But make sure that you get on to me through email or through X or Instagram, whatever it is, mate. Give me an email and I'll add you to that Google Drive. But You're a great man and supporting Beyond Blue there, Paddy. So thank you very, very much, my friends. And remember, whatever channel you're watching on at the moment, if you are on Swordplay, make sure you go directly to Scobes' channel as well. And make sure to give him a big sub and a like there too, people.
Oh, you're far too kind. Far too kind. And yeah, I mean, so basically what you're telling me is you do all this work for the low price of $1 that gets donated anyway. It seems like a win-win.
Just a little way to give back, mate. Good cause.
Simple, easy.
Paddy.
Good on you, superstar Paddy. Lachlan Camilleri says again, wicket keep loop looks dicey. May have to go expensive play like Carey. Now you just don't loop in the wicket keeper.
Yeah, are you starting McDermott? Just chuck him there.
I am so torn on this purely because I always like to start 3 keepers just for the rotations, and the fixtures work this year. But I don't know if I want McDermott or Wade.
So you'll be starting a Hurricanes keeper though, one of the two.
Yes. Yep.
You'll be starting one. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. And Philippi too good to pass up on to start in that keeper spot.
Yep.
Like you've got to start Josh Philippi there, don't you?
109K. Like that's
the same track here. I like it.
Yep. Bargain.
Value again. Like it's ridiculous, isn't it, man? Like the value in this game this year. It doesn't almost seem right.
The way I see it, if you've got Wade or McDermott on the bench, like in your wicket keeping spot, what's the point of owning them at the start? That's what I don't get. Like you can't loop anyway, because chances are you're going to have Philippi.
Yeah.
I don't.
I didn't know who else to chuck there with Philippi. Like who else?
Well, that's why I went Bancroft
for the next week. Yeah, okay.
Yep. Because I don't want to play him on field first game. So
what's Bancroft priced at, Scobes? Is he around
81K?
81.
Yeah. Yep. So again, like juicy and should bat 3. You'd imagine he bats 3 behind Constas and Warner. So yeah.
Yeah. Geez, that's close as well. I can do that. McDermott to Bancroft. And there's that extra maybe 5th player for the second week, or I can remove a Sam's type if I'm not as keen on him, for example. Or there's options. There's options. I like that shout, mate, over McDermott, because McDermott to me is I just saw him there and I locked him. Or wait.
Yep. I think I don't know. I'm still scarred from McDermott last year. He was so cheap, so cheap, and he was an auto pick for me, just purely because he's been like player of the tournament before and he's scored hundreds. But he was shocking. Absolutely shocking last year until like the 3rd last game. So I have PTSD from him.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an ongoing discussion. I think that bench spot, or if you go your 3, be a big discussion, Scopes.
Tristy Collard. I remember this fella from the AFL season. So shout out to you, mate.
Good man, Tris.
Very reliable and regular. So thank you, mate. With the number of cheaper players, could you get a quality player who isn't starting the season, Bo Webster, for example, to use as a loop player for the early season, but will then be there later on? I'm not a fan of this in the slightest, and that goes for any kind of sport. Like AFL, I don't like that because there's so many variables.
Yeah, I think Tristan, that you can just look to trade into these type of players, mate. If you're doing that with the loop, like we were discussing, the 40K type options, I think is the easiest thing to go there, mate. Like with that amount of money, you want that on-field scoring points, not sitting there on the bench. I'm quite happy to have 40-odd K sitting there as a loop, but not at someone at a Webster's quality, for example, and price.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, I was kind of hopeful that he wouldn't be in the Ashes setup, but I think he will be. And Tommy Clark says, Philippi for mine, double early and seriously cheap. Did struggle last year though. Yeah, he's spot on.
Yep.
Campbell Holtham says, Maxwell, yes or no? For me, it's a no. What about yourself, mate?
No, not to start with, but I do have plans in place in my mind at this stage anyway, with the way things are, to be able to get him in if I think I need to. And it's going to be a tough watch, that Stars double without Maxwell on the side. I think it's a pretty scary antipod, but I'm going to cross the bridge when we get there. But plans are in place at the moment, mate.
Yeah, no, I don't. I definitely not going into a double without Glenn Maxwell, I don't think. No. Fevolution, it used to be a thing, players scoring negative for a duck, I think. Yeah, don't quote me on it, but I'm fairly certain. Yeah, that would be, I mean, would be a good variable to have, but I just don't think from, I guess, a company standpoint, it's going to be very engaging. Stewie MC789 says,
Stewie.
Legends, bugger, I missed the start of this. Well, mate, because we are so generous and just absolutely beautiful souls, well, one of us is, and it's not the one speaking, you can go back and rewatch it. So simple as that.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. Campbell also asked, what's the maximum amount of Hurricanes and Sixers players we should start? The max. Whew. I don't know.
9? I think I've got 9 at the moment.
Yeah, we've got your flex drops out, so you only get the scoring. What's that? 6. I reckon max. Max is 11. Like, that's your absolute max. I wouldn't want to be doing that.
I'd just be. You just got to. You're so worried if you start with too many. What are you doing week 2? It's you're going to get yourself in trouble, because I think we talked about right at the start, Scobes, about what do you think's your ideal amount of Hurricanes. We were thinking maybe that 5 to 6 max mark. Sprinkle a few 6s in there, your Dwarshus types, your Philippies that you like.
Yeah. You would be very brave to go into a Sixers double game week without 4 of Abbott, Dwarshus, Edwards, and Philippi.
I've got 3, yeah. 3 currently.
Like, I reckon that you would be very, very, from an ownership standpoint, like that, again, they all could be crap come the end of the round, but that's hindsight, but you would be very brave not to go in with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think a combined, I think 6 is too less, and I reckon clearly 11 is too many. But yeah, I think 10's probably too much.
8 to 9, are we saying? To try to give you a bit of an answer? Yeah. 9.
Yeah, we'll go with that. 8 to 9. Whichever one suits the narrative. Yeah. Perfect.
Beautiful.
Stewie MC, he says, membership's well worth it. Great community.
Great member of the channel is Stu, and all the leagues as well, all the members' leagues. So appreciate you, Stewie. Cheers, mate.
Stewie also says, sorry, DR, watching through Scobes, got him top my list while I'm kicking his butt at FP. Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Stu, you could be watching through Scobes as well, mate. Absolutely, mate. Love to see that support. Stewie, you're supporting everyone, brother. So thank you very, very much, my friend. Love it to hear. So you're kicking his butt at FPL. A bit of a drive-by from Stewie there, Scopes.
That's, well, first and foremost, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's not easy to be smashing me at that, because that's going to be, like, at the stage, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. But, I mean, that game is so infuriating. I don't know if you've ever played FPL, mate, but it's a set lockout.
No.
There's no rolling lockout. So if your team's crap and you look at your total and they've all been like early Saturday morning games and your players have just completely poo-pooed the bed, your entire weekend's screwed. I'll tell you that right now for free. So, yeah. But
I've not given it a crack. I logged in, looked for Maradona, couldn't find him there. I said, well, that's all the soccer players I know. I'm out. So,
done.
Didn't give it a crack myself, mate.
I mean, good. Keeps your mental health in a positive balance, I'll tell you that much. Stewie, well, yeah, I'm sure you'll continue to do so. Let me know where you're ranked, so I've
Understood.
got somewhere to aim for, mate. Campbell says, can we start McDermott, Clark, and Philip? Oh, Philippi, I reckon you mean, mate.
Oh, yeah. The poo.
His
brother's getting drafted this year as well. Just back on the poo, isn't he? They're confident young men. The boys. Very confident young men. Both reckon they should have been drafted at 1, but we'll see what happens there. But
yeah, right.
What do you reckon? McDermott, Clark, and Philippi, 3 keepers. Is that the way?
I think you can, but you'd have to bench Clark.
Do you go, if you're starting with 2 keepers, do you just go Philippi? I was going to say Philippi and Clark. Oh, but you've got Bancroft, so you're thinking the same. Preparing for the next week, aren't you? Yeah, look, I don't mind. You could do it, couldn't you?
I mean, Joe Clark he's one of the worst. How do you say it in a nice way? He's one
hit
of
and miss. Is that what you'd say? He's hit and miss.
Yeah, but his keeping is like, so it looks like a bloke trying to catch soap sometimes. But to be fair, if you needed to squeeze out like, what is it, 15 odd K or whatever the price is, 13K, I can understand Bancroft to Clark. I get that. Yeah. But you'd have to bench him. There's no way you're playing a single player in Clark over Philippi or McDermott.
Yeah, 100%.
No. And the last one for now, Campbell says again, for reference, I've got 6 Hurricanes being McDermott, Chowdhury, Owen, Hussain, Ellis and Jordan, and 3 6s being Philip. He loves Philippi, Edwards, and Dwarcius.
That's almost the same. That is 1, 2, 6, 7, 8. That's very close to me, but I had to downgrade Alice to Meredith in the end. But that's, well, Scobes, give me a quick thumbs up or thumbs down for the players on this list, because these are exactly the same players as me, but as I said, Alice to Meredith. I prefer Alice, but had to make a little bit of extra coins. So are you giving any of these any big thumbs down?
I don't have any issues with McDermott at all. Yeah. Owen is a given.
Yeah.
Alice and Jordan are like, they're givens as well. Like Jordan at 105K, that's just insane value. Chowdhury, I don't think is going to bowl too much, especially when they've drafted in Rian Ahmed and Rashad Hussain, who is on this list. I'm huge on Hussain as well. I'm very dirty on the fact that he was bumped up from 85K to now 117K without actually playing last year. So that's just, annoying. Chowdhury, Chowdhury just doesn't. I don't think he bowls as much as what he has been. 3 6s. I mean, Philippi, Edwards, and Dwarcius. Yeah. That's again a given. But for reference sake, my question to you, Campbell, would be, why don't you have Sean Abbott have a look at what he averages against Perth over there, and then have a look at what he averages at the SCG, where his second game is. Like, it's, you talk about SuperCoach royalty. If you're going to put that label on someone, it's Sean Abbott. I mean, you're talking about a bloke that has played 31 games at the SCG, who averages 67.7. And then at Perth, who he plays the first game, he's played there 4 times for an average of 44.5. So again, still good numbers. But against Perth, he averages 59 flat in 13 games. And Perth have been one of the most dominant franchises since BBL has existed. For 133K, could easily and arguably be one of the most underpriced players in the game. Simple as that.
So what you want, I think, Campbell and I to infer, Scobes, is to potentially
Here we
look
go.
at the old Chode to Abbott as potentially a move that we could look to make to strengthen our
I
sides.
would, and I know it's a long time away, but I would 100% be looking at that. 100%.
Like it.
Yeah.
Like it. Chode to Abbott.
Yeah.
Done.
Tristan Collard said Ahmed or Hussein. I mean, Rina Ahmed's good. Like he batted at I can't remember who he played for in the English T20 competition, but he batted at 3. So like he can bat as well, and he's a good bowler. He's not just a picked overseas international from the middle of nowhere. Like he's good. He's young, and before he was batting at 3, we spoke about the avenue to scoring. He literally has increased his value so much because now he can bat. And you look up his batting stats, like you go onto ESPN, Cricket Info, or whatever you look at, Big Bash Board, take a pick, have a look at his batting as well, because again, it's been good. Personally, I like Hussein. I really do. But that's a personal opinion, and it's not like you're splitting hairs here.
I'd defer to you on that. Absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Yep. Going at it.
Damien. Oh, shout out to Damo. He's a good bloke. He
is it Damo from Twitter? Very, very good on the punt. If it's Damien who I'm thinking about.
If it is him, then absolutely. If it is the bloke we're thinking of, then condolences for going for Essendon, mate. I know it's been a tough time.
There's a drop.
I know. I always get one in on him. I always do. It's when you're like, you can't help yourself. Says, I think 4 to 5 should be max from one side. Only so many points to go around. Yeah. Again, completely viable. Also, don't sleep on Rand. Yeah. I mean, if anyone's not too sure of him, I don't think he's going to bat that high in the order for the Hurricanes, but he's a good cricketer, a very good cricketer. And this is someone that I guess definitely wasn't known for his batting, but then started in the top 3 for decent county sides in their blast competition.
Okay.
And I can't, if it's not the blast, it's whatever the Pommy T20 league is at 3 and making runs. So definitely not rubbish in that aspect. And that concludes it, mate. That's
beautiful. What a chat.
Fantastic. Well, I just wanted to say, mate, thank you so much for actually, firstly saying that you'll pop on with me, and 2, actually doing it, because as we know, we were meant to have 3 of us. We got stooged. I didn't even get a good night, love you message from Joshy. But I'm sure I'll wake up to some abuse from him. That's my days. I tell you right now, it just goes into a spiraling depression if I don't wake up with some abuse from Joshy. It's just
well, I hope he's having a good night. But he will be back for future content as well. But absolutely, mate, love the work that you are doing. Absolutely love the work that you are doing. You're the big driving force behind all of this content, mate. And again, for anyone that is watching on Swordplay, make sure that you go and check out Scobes' channel as well, where he's uploading the same stuff as what you're seeing on Swordplay, but make sure you give him a sub and a big like there. And as I said, just looking forward to a big season. Are we about a month and a bit away from the actual beginning of the season?
45 days, how long we got, mate?
45 days. Alrighty. Well, tell us, Scobes, what else are you thinking content-wise, mate?
I reckon we've 100% be doing some team previews along those lines, because there's always the Same thing with AFL, mate. Like a role change and one player becomes instantly like just gold. And then a player that, may have been a premium in years gone past might not be as decent as what you think they are. So we'll definitely be hitting some team previews and just get some general chit chats. And whenever Joshy rocks up, we'll get some videos out as well.
I like it, mate. Well, there was no structure to this. We just thought, look, we'll hit record, have a bit of a chat, speak with the people, and give our first initial thoughts. So I reckon this one went pretty well, mate, for the first major BBL potty of the year.
Absolutely agreed, mate. Absolutely agree. Is there anything more we need to address? Anything at all?
No, look, I am good, mate. I am good. I just want to thank you again for magnificent hosting job here. Magnificent hosting job. All the big topics, mate. Led the team well, and will continue to do so throughout the preseason, then into the season as well, my brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you guys literally heard the explanation by the best in the business for SuperCoach, DR himself. Thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. If you're somehow watching this video and you haven't given it a like yet, or you haven't subscribed to either channel, then my goodness, I don't know what you're still doing here. Make sure you check everything out, and the content is coming out left, right, and center. It's literally just in abundance. Enjoy the evening, and thank you for viewing.